Hello everyone and welcome to the newest edition of Leatherneck Insider. My name is Austin Holznagel.
And I'm Jalen Short. The WIU football team held the Bruce Craddock Memorial Spring Game last week at Hanson Field. Leatherneck Insider reporter Ben Polanca got a chance to catch some of the action.
The WIU football team had concluded their spring football game, and new head coach Joe Davis was impressed with the team's performance. Davis explains his thoughts on both the offense and defense side of the team.
Yeah, I think the explosive plays, on offense early were really exciting to see. But then to see the defense buckle down and kind of say enough is enough, and dig their heels in the ground and get some big stops, at the end of the first half there, I think was key.
The starting quarterback position is up for grabs, and there is a competition for that position. Coach Davis said that he wants to take this battle into fall camp.
I still think that we've got 4 young men that are competing, and 2 of the older players tonight, you can see they're a little bit older. They got a little bit more composure. They've been in, a little bit more of these situations. But we'll take this battle all the way into fall camp and see who comes out of it.
The Leathernecks will face the Northern Illinois Huskies for their season opener, and Coach Davis is very familiar with them.
But that game one, we'll narrow on that here sooner than later. And to be honest with you, I was there 2 years ago as the offensive coordinator at Eastern Illinois with a chance to win the game at the end, driving, and just ran out of time at the end. So I'll be looking forward myself just to getting up there with this football team and taking a crack at the Huskies.
For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Ben Polanca.
Thanks, Ben. The Leathernecks will kick off their season this fall on August 31st at Northern Illinois University.
Switching to the pitch, where the WIU women's soccer team is back on the field, kicking off their preseason with 7 games. In addition, the team added 6 new Leathernecks to the roster, joining the returning 24. Our reporter Abdoulaye Musa Dukere caught up with the head coach, Jose Primo, on the challenge they are improving upon.
With the spring season underway, the WIU women's soccer team are taking the training to the field. Coach Primo mentioned what's the improvement she's seeing from them.
I think we're seeing more girls come out of their shell. More girls their confidence is growing, especially some of our younger players, right? They don't feel like new. I think it's hard as a freshman to come in your fall season and just kind of be that dominating personality. Some of them are, but I think overall, they kind of just try to do their job. They try to work hard and be good teammates. And then now in the spring, to see their personalities really come alive is really special.
The women's soccer team added 6 new players to the roster from the state and overseas. What is their role to the team? Coach Primo talked about it.
Well, we are returning a large roster. This spring we have 24 returning players. So adding in the 6, and we are still looking to add maybe 1 or 2 more depending on the positions that we can fill. But the role of the 6 is going to be to help give us more depth in some positions that we were lacking in the fall. We have some experienced players coming in, right? We have 2 junior college transfers coming in who did very well at their respective colleges, and they're going to help add a little bit more to our offense that we need. Our freshmen are going to come in, and I think they're all very experienced in their positions. We have a fullback coming in from New Zealand, as you mentioned. She's very dynamic on the outside. She'll really help give us some more depth out there.
Not only the underclass, but the freshmen are getting playing time as well. Coach talked about how that is important to the dynamic of the team.
So trying to figure out what the new team dynamic is going to be like, and the best way to see that is through games. So the spring has been really important for that, and I think we've done a really good job at progressing from our first game on April 6th, even to just where we are now. We have seen the team grow, and they are getting closer, and the chemistry is growing and getting better every day.
Now we'll end this interview with a few words from the coach to the Leathernecks fans. Here, this is what she had to say.
I think they're going to see some very competitive soccer. The girls are working their tails off, and I think the girls see that and they're really hungry for it. They want to make it to a conference tournament. They want to win more games at home. They want to win more games on the road. And I think our schedule next year is conducive to allowing us to do that.
Reporting from Leatherneck Insider, I am Abdoulaye Musa Dukere. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Musa. Can't wait to see what this team can accomplish this year. Leathernecks are in action today against Valparaiso at 2 p.m.
Heading over to the Diamond, as Western Illinois baseball had a big home series against the SIUE Cougars this past week. Let's pick up in the third inning of game number 2, where after back-to-back singles, Drew Mize lays down a bunt and an errant throw by Tyler Capron allows a run to score on the error by the pitch. Then 2 batters later, Gage Frank rips one down the left field line, plating 2 more Cougars as you see Frank slides into second with an RBI double. To get out of the jam, Cesar Franco makes an incredible running catch out in center field to keep the Cougars to 3 runs in the inning. When the Leathernecks step up to the plate, a potential ending double play ends up scoring 2 after the ball gets past the left side of the infield with Slavins and Duran both coming around to score, making this a run-run ball game. Then J.R. Hevelin, first pitch swinging, sends one deep into the trees in left center field, and you can say goodbye to that one, as Hevelin hits the first home run by a Leatherneck at Alfred D. Boyer Stadium this season and gives Western a 5-3 lead in the third inning. The Leathernecks would end up losing the game 11-9 after a 9th inning comeback fell just short, but they would go on to win the series finale thanks to Cesar Franco walk-off 3-run home run.
When we come back, we recap the first OVC Conference Tournament appearance for women's golf.
And Luke Little joins us in studio to give us an update on some changes coming to the NAIA. Don't go anywhere.
It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. It's saying W because I know it's something you're going to say later. Yeah, we've been ready.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on? They haven't said anything. I'll tell we're ready to go.
Hello everyone, I am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back. Taking a trip over to the links, the WIU women's golf team placed 5th in their first Ohio Valley Conference tournament, with 3 golfers placing inside of the top 20. Natalie Hooper dominated the first 2 rounds with 4 birdies. Battling tough conditions later on, she ended up falling and finished the day in 15th place. Day 2, she would find her groove, making 14 pars and 2 bogeys, finishing with an even par of 72. The success doesn't stop there. Olivia Kerr finished a Leatherneck best in 12th place, seeing 6 birdies drop. Mia Skremager finished tied for 18th and found 14 pars on day 2. This wraps up the spring season for the women's team as they look ahead to a productive offseason and fall play.
WIU track and field athlete Renee Ragland was announced as the OVC Field Athlete of the Week on April 17th after her performance at the SIUE Cougar Classic. The sophomore Ragland placed top 3 in the women's 100-meter dash. Ragland had a time of 12.56 seconds, just 0.17 seconds behind her teammate who won the event, Savannah Harvey. Ragland also took home the first place in the women's long jump with a distance of 20 feet and 5 inches. Ragland's long jump distance puts her atop the OVC and is the only female athlete to jump over 20 feet in the past 2 outdoor seasons. We had some big news earlier this week on the men's side as well. Pole vaulter Arnie Grunert was named OVC Male Outdoor Field Athlete of the Week. Grunert took first place in the pole vault and also tied for 18th amongst qualifiers for the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field West Region and also placed 32nd nationally this season. The top 48 pole vaulters in each region will earn an invite to the postseason meet. From there, the top 24 pole vaulters in the country will advance to the national championship. The Leathernecks are currently in action at the Drake Relays in Des Moines, Iowa.
We are now joined in the studio by Leatherneck Insider reporter Luke Little to bring us more information about the new NAIA policy change. What is this change, Luke?
Well, guys, there's been some recent pushes on the NAIA and NCAA on the current situation involving transgender athletes in women's sports. This is not the first time comments about the situation have arose. Even recently, there was a ban of transgender athletes in women's sports at the lower collegiate level. the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, or NAIA, recently voted on a ban of transgender athletes in women's sports, except for competitive cheer and competitive dance. The NAIA governs nearly 239 smaller schools with a majority of private institutions. Out of these schools, there are nearly 83,000 student athletes. This ban is only on women's sports currently, and transgender athletes are still allowed to participate in men's sports. This ban met some backlash and support from different groups who are now trying to get an official word from the NCAA on their plan for the issue. The NCAA currently has a sport-by-sport approach that allows the national governing bodies of each specific sport to make the decisions. The NCAA has nearly 1,100 schools under its jurisdiction, along with nearly 440,000 student athletes. The NCAA has already commented that they will ensure fairness in all NCAA sports. Some major figures in college sports have made their thoughts known on the topic, like South Carolina women's basketball head coach Dawn Staley, who has stated her beliefs that transgender athletes should be able to compete in women's sports. While on the other hand, Riley Gaines, a highly accomplished collegiate swimmer, has expressed her beliefs in the opposite, that transgender athletes should not be able to participate in women's college sports. This issue has become a bigger topic recently than in years past, along with the growth of women's college sports that has taken a tremendous leap in the past 3 years. Whether or not the NCAA will make a decision on this is yet to be decided, and if they ever will, is also up in the air. But for right now, the decisions are left to each NCAA sports governing bodies.
Thanks, Luke. On the other side of this break, we head to Macomb High for some updates on the Bombers. Stay tuned.
Here, I engineer the future.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
And we're back from the break. Heading over to Macomb High, where the Bombers softball team went 1-1 last weekend. The team lost to Farmington 11-1 and followed that with a thrilling 11-10 victory over Orion. Taking a look at the upcoming schedule, the Bombers will host Illini West on Thursday, April 25th. The team will then travel to Kewanee on Friday, April 26th. The team then follows that with another road contest at Peoria Heights on Tuesday, April 30th. All contests will start at 4:30 p.m.
Heading over to the baseball diamond, the Macomb High boys baseball team is sitting at 7-11 on the season and 4-1 in conference, which is good for a second-place team. Taking a look at the Bombers' schedule for the upcoming week, they played Bushnell Prairie earlier this morning, then are back at home for a 4-game homestand, starting things off with a conference match against Farmington on Monday at 4:30. Then play Avon on Wednesday at 6:30. Rock Island on Thursday at 4:30, and then Hamilton to finish it off on Friday at 4:30.
Last Tuesday, Macomb High boys basketball coach Jeremy Anderson was named as the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association District Coach of the Year. Anderson has been coaching the Bombers for 12 seasons and led the Bombers to 28 wins and an Elite Eight appearance for the first time in 18 years. Anderson and the Bombers have also had a winning record for the past 4 seasons. We want to give a huge congratulations to Coach Anderson on this great achievement.
The Macomb High girls soccer team is currently 5-7 on the season and 0-1 in conference play. On Monday, the Lady Bombers beat Lutheran 7-0. Kylie Robinson and Kate Stordzum each had 3 goals in the Bombers' win. Robinson also added 2 assists, and Stordzum added 1. Jessie Trott had the shutout. The Lady Bombers began postseason play last week, but fell in their semifinal match against the Williamsville Bullets. The Bombers competed for 3rd place on Thursday in the Pleasant Plains tournament.
When we come back, we will have yet another edition of my segment, Short Takes, and an all-new segment from one of our own. You won't want to miss it.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Welcome back inside. We now introduce a brand new segment, Kobe's Corner, from Leatherneck Insider reporter Kobe Blackman. We hope you enjoy it.
Welcome, Leatherneck fans, to the first episode of Kobe's Corner. I'm your host, Kobe Blackman, and we're jumping right into the NFL draft. There are many eyes on many teams, but the team under the most pressure is the Chicago Bears. The obvious pick will be star-studded quarterback Caleb Williams, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think you can see a blockbuster trade early in the draft. I expect the Bears to make some calls to the Chargers or the Bills to see if Josh Allen or Justin Herbert is available. Look, the Bears have an offense that's ready to win and a top 5 defense. They might not have time to wait on a developing quarterback. And staying on the topic of quarterbacks, you can expect to see more than 5 quarterbacks go in the first round. J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and many more. Truly talent all the way around. Now on to the receivers. There's no doubt the Ohio State receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. will be the first off the board. Harrison really the full package with speed and agility. He's ready to be the X-Factor receiver day one. The next 2 receivers definitely interchangeable, Malik Neighbors and Rome Odunze. Neighbors out of LSU, the more explosive receiver off the line and really smooth in coverage. And for Odunze, the receiver out of Washington, can get separation fast and has strong hands. The 2 teams that get them should be very excited. Now transitioning over to defense. Kind of in the background for this NFL draft, but pivotal picks for multiple teams. Starting off with Florida State edge rusher Jarrett Verse. Verse can be the first edge rusher off the board because of his speed and constant motor. And in the secondary, Quinyon Mitchell, the lockdown corner from Toledo, is projected to be first off the board to solidify the Falcons secondary. Now on to rounds 2 and 7, where the real NFL draft starts. I expect to see the Cowboys make moves to shore up that running back position. And as for the Broncos, I still expect them to have a good draft now that Russell Wilson is gone and they have traded for Zach Wilson. The upside is bright for them. And well, that's all the time we have. Don't forget to join me next fall for the next episode of Kobe's Corner.
Thank you for your insight on the NFL draft, Kobe. I can't wait to see the future Hall of Famer, the Packers, take in this year's draft. But now it's time for the newest edition of Short Takes from my partner today, Jalen Short. Now, Jalen, are you really going to be able to run from the desk to the green screen that fast?
Absolutely, Austin. I'm a pretty fast guy. I'm sure I can do it.
I mean, we're both intramural basketball champions, so I think you got it in you.
Whew. Man, I'm still quick. I still got it. Now, let's get to these topics for Short Takes. First, let's talk about Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back. It's been in the making for so long now. I mean, he should have gotten it back years and years ago with these NIL opportunities that these athletes are getting nowadays. It's almost, inevitable that he was going to get it back, and you saw it today. And he's one of the best college players to ever play the game, if not the best college player. And, a guy like that, he deserves it. He spoke, highly about USC, that entire football organization. So he definitely deserves to get his Heisman back. Now let's move to Caleb Williams and the expectations he might have playing for the Chicago Bears. He's going to be the first overall pick. We all know that. But the expectations that come along with that, they're pretty high because you have a better team this year. The Bears, they went 7-10 last year with Justin Fields being the starting quarterback. And I think that if Caleb Williams doesn't have a C.J. Stroud type of rookie year, that people are going to start asking questions. Hey, was this the right pick for the Bears? Should they have taken Drake May? Should they have taken another quarterback? Who knows? I mean, hopefully, Caleb Williams has a great year, but there's a lot of expectations coming from Chicago, especially from those Chicago fans. Now, let's move to the Chicago Bulls. Should they go into a full rebuild? I definitely think so, because you have to give respect to DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. They've played their hearts out for the Chicago Bulls the past few years, and they need to be on championship contending teams, and right now the Bulls are not even close to that. Trade DeMar, trade Zach LaVine, even trade Vucevic as well, get him out of there, and then just make a complete rebuild with Kobe White. Start with him. He should have been the most improved player this year, but Tyrese Maxey ended up winning that award. But start with him, start with Patrick Williams, and build that organization from the ground up and get back into the playoffs competing like a great team in the Eastern Conference. Now, fourth, let's talk about who will get swept in these playoffs. In my opinion, it will definitely be the Orlando Magic. I just don't think they're ready yet to compete with teams like Cleveland, with teams like the New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers as well. And I do believe that the 76ers, they might get swept. However, it all depends on Joel Embiid's health. That knee, he's been a little, banged up these past few games, and he's still been putting up okay numbers. But Tyrese Maxey has to step up. Tobias Harris, all of those guys have to step up in order for them not to get swept, because the Knicks, In my opinion, they might make it to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Boston Celtics. Now, fifth, this topic is very, very personal to me. Let's talk about the older eras in the NBA being a little bit overrated. Now, before you say anything, let's start with the 70s and the 80s. That era, all you had was really Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird. Those were the top guys in that era. However, these players nowadays, they're far more talented, far more well-rounded than those guys, especially with the training nowadays, the type of athletes that we have. It's almost night and day from those eras until now. Now, the 90s, that's when it started getting great with Michael Jordan, guys like that. He was the top dog in that era. But now you have LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and all the young guys as well. Anthony Edwards is put on the show in the playoffs now. This era is arguably the best era in NBA basketball, in my opinion, because just the talent, the raise of talent is just outstanding. But now, let me try to run back to the desk very, very fast.
Well, man, I stand corrected. You were speedy out there. You looked like Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, Austin, it's tough, but, hey, these knees still work, man.
And, those were some good takes. Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back, about time.
Yeah.
Bulls need a rebuild. Trade everyone to a contender, build around Kobe White. But the oldies are not overrated, man. You got to think about the bottom of the barrel players in that era, of course, are worse than they are today. Every athlete's taken a step up. But, at that time, it was similar competition, so you got to respect what they did with their time. Well, that's all the time we have for you today. Be sure to give us a follow @Insider on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Austin Holznagel.
And I'm Jalen Stewart. Have a great weekend, Leathernecks.